Good Thursday morning, everyone. I think this is the 22nd of August. Yesterday I was covering autosuggestion. Today I'm covering the fourth principle, specialized knowledge in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill's point of knowledge is power not only to the extent that it is organized into a definite plan of action and directed to a definite end. This is a quote: before you can be sure of your ability to transmutate desire into its monetary equivalent, you will require specialized knowledge of the service, merchandise, or profession which you intend to offer in return for fortune. You might need much more specialized knowledge than you have the ability or inclination to acquire. If this should be true, you should bridge this gap with a mastermind group, which I started to do a couple of days ago, called the Wolf Pack. Learn all you can about your specialty. Set aside a time of day every day to do so. Take courses offered on your subject. Associate with others who know your subject well. So in other words, I think find a good teacher of something that they know that you don't, and maybe you know something that they don't, right? And I went into the fifth principle also this morning. It's imagination. And the imagination is literally the workshop wherein are fashioned all plans created by man. The impulse, the desire is given shape, form, and action through the aid of the imaginative faculty of the mind. These are not my words, these are Mr. Nightingale's. Man can create anything he can imagine. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Man's only limitation within reason lies in his development and use of his imagination and subsequent motivation to action. All the greatest developed self-motivation. So, in other words, all the greats develop their own self-motivation to keep the action on track and make their dreams come true. As you go about your daily work, think always about how you can improve on anything you do, make it better, however you can be more value, I guess, to yourself or to your work. Frank Lloyd Wright said people built most nobly when limitations were greatest, and therefore when most was required of imagination in order to build it all. Limitations seem to have always been the best friends of architecture, meaning you had limitations, like how did those guys push all those big stones up and make the pyramids, right? I've heard a lot of theories on that one. I'm not going to go into that. Limitation may be your best friends, since they require imagination if we are to rise above them. And that's one of the things I heard about those, is they levitated those blocks into place. Right. Now they might have. There's a guy someplace I read about that moved stones in his yard all by himself, but he did it at night so nobody could see how he did it. Who knows? Could be true. As Beecher said, the soul without imagination is what an observatory would be without a telescope. That makes a lot of sense. So that was the fifth principle. And now the sixth principle, organized planning. This is the largest one in the book. You have decided on your goal and desire. Now let's organize the plan for its accomplishment right on schedule. Let's quote again from the Think and Grow Rich. You have learned that everything man creates or acquires begins in the form of desire. Desire is taken on the first lap of its journey from the abstract to the concrete in the workshop of the imagination, where plans for its transition are created and organized. Earlier, you were instructed to take 6 definite practical steps as your first move in translating the desire for whatever you want into its physical equivalent. One of these steps is the formation of a definite practical plan or plans through which this transformation may be made. 1. Ally yourself or ally yourself with one or more persons of a group or as many people as you can for the creation and carrying out of your plan or plans. For the accumulation of the money you've established as your goal. Well, money or whatever your plan was, right? Making use of the mastermind principle. This is important, and that's kind of why I wanted to create the Wolf Pack. So everybody that had like ideas and thoughts could get together and help. We could help each other. I think we could help each other immensely. However, this new group that I just joined with you guys, Shyla, and whoever else it was that keeps replying to me, that one, I think we could probably do the same thing in. So we could say Wolf Pack for something else. But number one step I just read to you, the mastermind. Number 2, before forming your mastermind alliance, decide what advantages and benefits you may offer the individual members of your group in return for their cooperation. No one will work indefinitely without some form of compensation, although this may not always be in the form of money. 3. Arrange to meet with the members at least twice a week or more often if possible until you have jointly perfected or effected the necessary plan or plans for the accomplishment of your goal or goals. Number 4, maintain perfect harmony, or as I call it, synergy. I mean, back in the old days, it was probably called harmony. Between yourself and every member of your mastermind group, keep in mind these facts. First, you're engaged in a major undertaking of major importance to you. To be sure of success, you must have plans which are as faultless. So make sure that you can sort it out so they don't have any faults. Second, you must have the advantage of the experience, education, and native ability and imagination of other minds. That's where the mastermind group comes into big play. This is a harmony of other methods followed by the person who has risen above the average. Work at this until you have a well-executed formal plan for reaching your objective. This way, you're never confused or wondering what you should do next. Every morning you know exactly what you're going to do and why. It is in this chapter of Think and Grow Rich that Napoleon Hill gives us his 11 qualities of leadership. Number 1 being unwavering courage. Number 2, self-control. Number 3, a keen sense of justice. Number 4, definiteness of decision. We went over that before. Number 5, definiteness of plans. Number 6, the habit of doing more than paid for. Number 7, a pleasing personality. Number 8, sympathy and understanding. Makes sense? Number 9, mastery of detail, because the devil is in the details, right? Number 10, willingness to assume full responsibility, something that nobody hardly has any backbone with anymore, I don't think. And number 11, cooperation. Organized planning is the largest chapter in the book and most important in the book. It goes without saying that a man without a plan to follow is like a ship without a course. No place to go, with disaster a probability. Tomorrow we're going to get into the 7th principle in Mr. Earl Nightingale's dissertation here, which is called Decision, the Mastery of Procrastination. So I think he meant decision or procrastinate on it, which is a bad thing to do, right? We all know that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kurt coming to you from downtown Seattle. And it's been over 10 minutes now. Wow. Well, if I held you this long, that's something else, huh? Anyway, guys and gals, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.